Although homelessness is often portrayed as a crisis of cities, it has been a persistent and even growing challenge in America's small towns, suburbs, and rural places.
PSH is a proven intervention, but little is known about how it functions in rural areas. So 35% of the land right across the country has services coordinated by these largely rural CoCs, and 30% of the total population lives in these areas.
The future is providing service coordination in a much broader array of housing.
We're a community of 26,000 folks that really incorporates 3 small towns, as well as the Mountain Ute Reservation is part of our county. We are able to bring services into the building every day. We provide service, a self-sufficiency program 4 days a week, as well as we've got 2 full-time case managers. We draw on other programs and take those programs into the building.
But if you don't have those type of wraparound robust services, you can't maintain housing stability.
We have relationships across the state. We have relationships regionally, locally. And so we're definitely not the service provision in permanent supportive housing, but we rely on a lot of people to come in and out of our buildings.
We have to go in, create partnerships with folks who have real grassroots connections, and critically trust with the population we're trying to serve.
Something we heard both from like CoC leads and individual providers was about sort of slowly developing capacity over time. So maybe first applying for a smaller, less technical grant and using that as a way of building out capacity and or of like bringing providers that have been operating outside of the CoC system in more to integrate them into it.
And in affordable housing, if you looked 50 years ago, when there really wasn't widespread homelessness, there was one major direct funder of affordable housing, and that was the federal government. We have changed that model to work through mixed finance and through entities like states and localities and nonprofits. And that setup means that rural communities are challenged, and they're challenged with capacity, and the entire system needs to work to redress that imbalance.
We braid a lot of different funding sources together to create that program, but it's essential, and we need to move towards Medicaid, but we know that Medicaid maybe won't always be able to pay 100%. And so having those flexible dollars is really key, and that's where state and philanthropic funding can be a real asset.
These issues of density and capacity sort of like join together, right? And make it harder to document chronic homelessness and build support for PSH as an intervention.
We know that supportive housing is a best practice. We know it works. We've been very fortunate to increase the development of permanent supportive housing here in Colorado with our state resources, with the influx of federal resources during the pandemic. And we need more of what works, essentially. We need more permanent supportive housing. We need, again, so often the limitation is on the resources. We know it's effective. We just need to invest at the scale needed.